What's going on, guys? We are Tottenham TV here, back with another transfer video today. And as you know, Slav, Tottenham are not going to have a lot of money to spend this summer. So what we are going to have to look at is free transfers and players in the last year of their contracts to kind of save some money and see if there are any deals to be done in the market. And the best way to get a cheap deal is to get a player who's in their last year of their contract, knowing their contract's going to run out in a year's time. Most times, clubs are willing to take a lower fee.
Exactly.
So we are now going to be analysing players who are in their last year of their contract, see who's available, who's got 1 year remaining, and if there's any
price.
Exactly, maybe their players cut price.
Welcome to Audi. Who have we got?
These are basically expiring goods.
Yeah.
But as you know,
we're in the reduced section at Tesco.
But as you know, sometimes there's some good value in the reduced section at Tesco.
You're not wrong.
Some very good value, and even after the expiry date, it's still
Mm.
good. Sometimes it's still good.
So now we know what Sim has for dinner.
So we're going to be checking out players in the last year of their contracts. We're going to be analysing who's there and if there's any players we want.
So the first one is Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi, do you want Messi?
Yeah.
But he's going to cost you about 100 million. So I don't think it's there. There's Pogba. Let's look at we look at realistic players who we probably think will be in for and have a chance of signing who are in the last year of their contracts.
Should we start in France?
I think the first one, at 26 years old, Memphis Depay, who has just come back from a long-term injury for Lyon, who obviously had a good end to the season when he came back from injury. He scored in 6 consecutive Champions League games.
Probably should have scored in the against Bayern Munich.
I think he'll still be kicking himself, missing that open goal. But he's a really, really good player, a good age. Obviously, we know he didn't have a good time at Man United, but with 1 year remaining on his contract, if he's available for, say, 50 million, is that a deal that you think?
Still a lot of money, though.
It is a lot of money, but for a player of his quality,
and a player with a year left, playing at a club with no European football.
But is it a case of when someone like Memphis Depay is available, you just got to push the boat out a bit and make sure you get
I mean, it was just I like his versatility as well. Can play in a couple of positions. Obviously, we've got a good relationship with Lyon. Hugo Lloris came from Lyon, and so did obviously Ndombele. I feel like there might be another one that I'm missing. So I think it's more realistic than people think, but I just don't think it's someone that we're focusing on. Obviously, we do need right backs. We do need a backup striker. Is he the backup striker Jose would want? Was it Jose that signed him, or was it Louis van Gaal?
It was Louis van Gaal.
Did Jose sell him?
Jose sold him. Yes. No. Louis van Gaal sold him in the next January.
Right.
So he was bought and sold by Louis van Gaal. But he's a player. He's obviously not going to be backup if he signs for us because he's too good for that.
Exactly.
He's too good for that.
Would he want to come and sit on the bench? I'm not sure. He's a great player. Really.
But he'll be starting for us, wouldn't he?
Over who though? Who are you going to drop? Exactly.
Maybe move Son out to the right, put the Memphis on the left.
Maybe, but then Bergwijn and Lucas both sit on the bench.
But I guess. Look, he's a player who's not a priority, but I honestly think
we'd all love him. I think
if we sign someone like Memphis Depay, it's a game changer. It's a game changer, but I can't. Yeah, it's very unlikely. Alex Telus from Porto, left back, Brazilian.
I think again a good player. He's highly rated across Europe. 27, prime age, great going forward. And I'd love him, but unfortunately, I don't think we're focusing on fullbacks because we've got one of the best left backs ever in Ben Davies. So I just don't think it would work. No, and we've got Dennis Serkin coming through, who I think looked really good on the weekend. It would be a really good sign.
Obviously, it would be a massive upgrade on what we have, I think. And I think the way he plays, obviously plays for Porto, former club of Mourinho. So Mourinho probably has keeping tabs on him. He'll probably know what he's about.
If we manage to pull that off, wow. Although I do think if we got him, it would be a shame for someone like Dennis Serkin, who I think deserves a chance.
Yeah, but with someone like Telus, he's so high quality.
Yeah,
but you can't really turn it down.
Would
if
he
he's
adapt
available
to the Premier League? Do you think?
I think so. I think he has that quality. I think he's a few question marks whether he would get a work permit because I don't think he plays that much for Brazil. But I think he's a player who's definitely been an upgrade on what we have. And I think he's a really good attacking fullback. But does Mourinho like attacking fullbacks?
Well, I mean, on one side he does. He plays with a right winger, essentially, with the fullback. But on the left, maybe not. I'm not sure. And
he probably costs too much money. He'll cost you at least 30 million, wouldn't he?
Well, I don't know. You say these high prices for these players, but a year left.
Yeah, but you think about
Premier League, Jose Mourinho. I
know, but the
players can force the moves, which would force the prices to fall.
But in these days, you see people like, say, Liverpool signed Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. He was in his last year. They paid 35 million for him. A lot of players can go for high prices even in their last year because.
But I also think that was also rival to rival.
True, but teams do want to push the boat out
well,
to make sure they get their man, even with his 1 year. Because when there's 1 year left, there's a lot of competition. So it's still the price can still be quite high.
It's not a priority, but he's a really good player. Whoever gets him is getting a great left back.
Angel Di Maria from PSG, 32 years old.
Not in my opinion. Amazing. Anyone that watched the Champions League this year will know how good he really is.
He's on too much money though.
His stats in the Champions League as well are amazing. I can't remember what it is exactly, but it's staggering, the goals and assists.
I think he's a player as well. That he's playing too much football for PSG, so I don't think there'll be that. He's probably willing to stay.
He's probably on hundreds of thousands a week.
As in, when someone like Di Maria is available, the only way Tottenham can get him is if the selling club subsidises the wages.
Exactly.
And they'll never do that.
And if would he want to? He's not going to come and want to play in the Europa League.
But but my main point is PSG would never subsidise wages on a player they're playing regularly.
Exactly.
So that's probably no deal. But one player who's not playing regularly, who Madrid might subsidise wages on, is James Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Because he can't get for love no money. He can't get in the squad for Madrid.
Can't get a game anyway.
Can't get a game anyway. Went to Bayern Munich, completely
did
flopped.
All right.
You did okay. I would say for the
how
player,
much do you reckon we'd get him for? I mean, again, they're going to want to recoup some of the money they paid for him.
They paid about 60 million.
So they're going to want at least probably half of that back. And
I think he's been there for so long.
What about a loan?
That's the thing.
A loan with an option to buy. It's
again, but Madrid could be willing to subsidise the wages on him.
Is he actually? Do you think he's good enough? Because he's been to all these top clubs and not produced and not performed really.
The thing is, the harsh reality is
he's living off the World Cup for 6 years.
I know, but the harsh reality is, and it's going to be hard to hear, but the standards at Tottenham and what's acceptable at Tottenham is lower than what's acceptable at Madrid.
True,
right?
Very true.
So,
Bayern Munich,
for example, we love Van der Vaart, right? We absolutely love Van der Vaart. We see Van der Vaart as an unbelievable player, right? If Van der Vaart played the same level at Spurs as he did Madrid, they would have sold him easily. They would have he probably wouldn't be as good of a player.
No, you're not wrong. I think
because that's the reality.
And also, he's an attacking midfielder, and there's one position maybe we haven't replaced with Eriksen going. I think it could, but again, 29.
This stinks of a deadline day loan deal or something like that. Yeah. If we're struggling to get anyone, we haven't got any signings. Levy's like, let's get.
But again, big wages.
That's the thing, but I think Madrid could be willing to subsidise the wages because he doesn't get a game, and I think he's a quality player. I'd love him at Spurs, but again, not a priority. Florent Toivan from Marseille.
He was at Newcastle.
He was completely flopped at Newcastle, but he's been fantastic at Marseille. He has had a big injury. I think he was pretty much ruled out for the whole season last season, if I think rightly.
The thing is, again, wingers. We've got wingers.
He covers both wings, but apparently we are potentially looking at to sign a winger, as another winger.
Is he the one that we'd go for?
I think
a big injury.
He has had a big injury, but I think the quality he showed in Marseille before his injury, I don't know when he's fit, but I think obviously it counts against him. But 1 year left of his contract. If by the end of the summer, by the end of the window, no one signed him and we're still looking for it, we might have something.
If we get all our targets in the positions we need, maybe. But I think Jose and Levy, they'll be looking at the positions we need, get those done first. If we can, and then if we've got money left over and we can afford to get another winger in, then
they're saying our priorities at the moment are right back,
striker,
backup striker, then possibly a winger if it's still around, if it's still money around. So I think he could be a very good option. But at 27, he's a pretty good age as well. But obviously, counts against him. He flopped at Newcastle, and he's just off the back of a big injury. So, but we could get him a bit cheaper because of that. And I think he's got a lot of quality on him. He can play both wings as well. So I wouldn't rule that out. Milik from Napoli. There's been a lot of talk around him.
Yeah,
we spoke about him.
A lot.
Yeah, we spoke about him in our striker video. He's got 1 year left on his contract. He's been linked with Juventus as well. I think, for me, he'd be ideal for the backup striker role.
No, I agree with that. 1 year left. Polish, so plays with Lewandowski's. Great striker. Napoli didn't have their best season either. I think they finished 6th or 7th. I'm not sure if they got Europe or not. But yeah, I mean, behind Dries Mertens, they've just brought in the guy from Lille, Victor Osimhen, as well.
So he's available.
Even further down the pecking order. So I'm sure they'd listen to some offers, and if we could get him at a good price, I think he'd score goals. I think he'd be a good option to have. Can play. Could probably go 2 up top. Can come off the bench, scores goals. I think he's a good player. He's big. He's strong.
Is he attainable, or do you reckon there's been too much interest in him?
No, I think he's definitely attainable. Absolutely, I think he's actually probably the one European striker that is attainable at the moment.
Yeah,
at a good price.
I agree with you, and I know he's had a few injury problems in the past, but I think he's put that behind him, and he's had a couple of decent seasons for Napoli, even though he's not played regularly. And I think for me, he especially as well how Mourinho likes to play. He wants a big big striker to come off the bench sometimes to be a target man. And I think if he started Europa League games, he would smash them in Europa League.
Exactly.
So I think it'd be perfect. One player who's apparently set to be released on a free is Luis Suarez, who apparently is about to go back to Ajax.
Who wouldn't want Luis Suarez? Imagine Suarez as your backup striker, or even your second striker to Kane.
They're releasing him on a free Barcelona.
I think he's going to go to Ajax.
Yeah, apparently he did get.
And he's on big money.
He is on massive money. I don't know. Do you think an Ajax will pay those wages? Well, he'd have to lower his wages.
Yeah, he'll take a wage cut, but it's his former club, isn't it?
A lot of people say what a disastrous season he had in his last season at Barcelona.
He probably scored.
He got 20 goals, 21 goals, so it wasn't that bad at the end of it. He scored in the 8-2 defeat. He did score a good goal.
He is essentially Premier League experienced. He tore the Premier League apart.
Yeah,
I would still back him to come and tear it apart again. I'd love him to come. I also think if he ever went back to the Premier League, he'd go back to Liverpool.
So, but I think it looks like he's going to Ajax. So I think it's unlikely. But I wouldn't say no for him to be a part
Who else have we got?
Kevin Volland from Bayer Leverkusen. I think he's a good option. I think he never really lived up to his to the hype that when he was a youngster. He was supposed to be a really good player. He's turned to a decent forward for Bayer Leverkusen. I think as a backup striker, he would be quite a decent option if available for a good price. But he doesn't set the world.
I wouldn't be. I think we need to aim a bit higher than Kevin Volland for a backup striker, to be honest.
Julian Draxler for PSG. Tricky.
I think that ship sailed. So he was very linked. He was really linked with Arsenal, wasn't he?
When he was at Schalke.
And I just think that I think his chances of a Premier League move to a top Premier League side may have sailed.
Do you think he's a player who?
I watched him for PSG in the last few Champions League games off the bench. Didn't do much.
But that's my point. He's been a bit part player for PSG for so long now. Do you really think maybe he's 26? He's still a decent age. If he wants to move, if he can, he's versatile. He can play left, right, and centre in the attacking position.
I wouldn't moan. It's not a signing you go, really. It's a signing you get excited about, but at the same time, it's like, do you want to spend the money on him? Do you want to give him the big wages that he's probably going to want? PSG probably pay their players quite a lot of money as well, and I just think is he a star? Is he? Do you look at him and go?
Could he be a star waiting to burst out? Because he doesn't get the regular game time for PSG, but maybe for a team like Spurs, he could be a star.
It could be a revolutionised player under a new manager. Jose Mourinho can get the best out of players. Look, Dele was awful before Jose came in during that period, and suddenly turned into a great player. Could he do it with Julian Draxler?
I love Draxler. I think he's I think he's such a supremely talented player. I think he's been cast aside a bit from PSG. He hasn't been given the right opportunities, and he's been there way too long. And I feel like it could count against him, because once you're a bit part player for so long, it's hard to become.
People don't remember the good things you did at the former club that got you the big move.
Exactly, and I think he's just become part of the system, kind of, at PSG, and he's never going to be ahead of Mbappe and Neymar and all these people.
No, I agree.
So I think he needs a move, and it could be a good option for us. But he could be. I agree with you. He's on a lot of money, and I can't see us making him our highest paid player.
Exactly.
Çalhanoğlu from AC Milan. He's a decent left winger, but. He's kind of one of those players. He's like
we were linked with him a few years ago.
He's like Sigurdsson. He's very good at free kicks and long shots and things like that, but in general play doesn't offer too much.
Not a Jose player, I don't think.
No, not for me.
Next,
Ivan Rakitic from Barcelona. He's been one linked with us.
Jose loves him, doesn't he?
He was actually, I remember a couple years ago, or maybe it was last year, he was talking about Rakitic, and he was saying, I think he was having a bit of a dig at Pogba at the same time as talking about Rakitic. He was saying, because Rakitic, doesn't have fancy hair and doesn't do these like Hollywood passes all the time, people don't see him as world class, but he's one of the best midfielders in Europe.
He's great. I remember he scored that, on the volley from 30 yards at Wembley against us?
Yeah, what a goal that was.
What a goal.
What a goal that was. He's a midfielder of supreme technique. Really,
works so hard, covers absolute miles.
He's a special midfielder, he is, but
he's on big money. He's playing for Barcelona. I'm sure he'll want to prove he's fallen out of favour as well. And because
he's old.
With Koeman coming in, he'll probably want to prove himself a bit. And I think he even said he wants to try and stay and fight for a place. I'm sure Jose would love him at Spurs.
If he's available on a cheap deal, do you think that's something in central midfield? Then
the players got to want the move. It's not just going, you're available.
Does he get in our team with Lo Celso, with Ndombele, Højbjerg, Winks?
But I also think if he came, it would be the end of Ndombele.
And you think for sure Ndombele's out the door if someone like Rakitic came?
because I think we'd sell him and use some of the money that we sold him for to cover his big wages. But look, I have no idea, to be honest, whether it would happen with or not. Personally, I don't think it will. But
I think he's very old. It would only happen if it's really cheap deal.
He's 32. He's turning 33.
Jesse Lingard.
No, next.
Jesse Lingard. Yeah, no. Who else have we got here? Lucas Vasquez for Real Madrid. Are you a fan of his?
29. Right, not really. Never really. No, I mean he's won a lot. He's won the Champions League there a couple of times, but for me,
I've never been a big fan of Lucas Vasquez. I've always think he's so average, and whenever he's played for Real Madrid, he's average.
I think the other players around him just made him look better than he is.
How's he 29? I still think of him as a youngster.
As a 22.
Yeah, how the hell? He's like, for me, he's like been forever 22, 23.
But yeah, maybe Gonzalo Higuain down there.
Gonzalo Higuain, yeah, but he's about to be released by Juventus,
so
isn't he?
Could be an option.
Do you? I put this out on Twitter, obviously, because he was set to be released, and there's a bit of debate whether he would. A lot of Spurs fans would take him. I think he would be would be very good for Europa League, but he did fail at Chelsea quite badly, didn't he?
Yeah.
And
well, you say that he won it, didn't he? Win the Europa League? He
was part of that team.
He definitely won the league. He definitely won the League Cup because they beat us, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't think he actually played though, because he signed in January.
You still get a medal.
He signed in January, so I don't know if he actually played in any of the games. But
did he not? I think he played it. He came off the bench in that semi, didn't he?
Well, against us
at Stamford Bridge.
Potentially, I can't remember. But would you take him at Spurs, Higuain? Was he completely past it?
It's not. I think it would be. I think I'd take him if we exhausted all other options and he was all that was left.
I think he played under Mourinho for Madrid. He was quite good. He was quite good there. I would actually like him. I actually wouldn't mind him as backup striker. I think he would actually be a decent option. I don't think he's been as bad as people say for Juventus, but he was quite bad for Chelsea. I think in Europa League he could be a very good option. He would bang him in. I think he destroyed Europa League.
True. Well, it's an interesting one.
Josh King from Bournemouth.
Not for me.
No?
I don't think he's an out-and-out striker. I think I like his versatility, but I just don't think. We need a backup striker, not someone. We've got players that can play up front as well as out wide in Son, Lucas, Bergwijn. We need an actual striker, and I don't think Josh King is a number 9.
I feel like he peaked a couple of years ago when he scored that goal.
We need someone to come and wear the number 9 shirt and be a number 9. Josh King isn't that.
I don't mind Josh King. I think he's decent, but he's just no more than decent.
Yeah,
he'll get maybe
didn't
get
have his best season this season. For Bournemouth, who went down, you need players like him to step up to try and keep you up. And until the last game of the season, last 2 games of the season, he didn't really do that.
But he's strong. He's physical. He gets a fair amount of goals, but he does. I think it's one of those where if we're desperate on deadline day, it's one of those to like maybe get over the line.
If we're going for Bournemouth strikers, I'd just get Callum Wilson.
I think Wilson's the better striker. One player we've been linked with actually recently is Demarai Gray again. We've been linked with him.
If he can't get in the Leicester team, then why is he going? He's not going to come and get in our team.
I've never been a massive fan of Demarai Gray. He doesn't offer too much.
He's 24 now as well.
He's not a youngster.
Yeah, he's not a kid anymore.
And his output is just so low. Like
no goals.
He's just one of those who looks good when he's dribbling and he's quick.
Just quick feet.
But he doesn't offer too much in the final third.
Can very occasionally like that goal.
And with Lucas Moura, we have one of those players already. What about this one? This is an interesting one. Diego Costa.
Yeah, who won the league with Jose.
Yeah, he won the league with Jose not so long ago.
But it's the dressing room atmosphere, the dressing room sort of vibe.
Maybe he'll get some fighting spirit.
Would he affect? I mean, he loves it.
He loves a scrap, doesn't he?
I wouldn't complain. It would be a good signing if we got him. It would cause mayhem in the league. But I feel like one thing Spurs don't need is someone that could potentially cause problems in the dressing room.
Psychologically, do you not think Jose could get into him? And really, he could become a real battler for us again. I would take him for sure as another striker.
Yeah, I'd take him.
I'd 100%.
As a footballer, I'd take him.
Well, do you think he could upset the dressing room?
Yeah, definitely.
You think so?
There's characters in there that he can clash with. You look at.
If
Serge Aurier stays, you're telling me those two aren't going to clash?
Yeah, but do you not think that's what Mourinho wants? Kind of sometimes a bit of.
I think he wants a bit of fight, not to actually fight.
Yeah, he probably wants an actual fight.
Just in the dressing room. Mourinho as the ring bearer, as the walking around round one in the dressing room.
I think Mourinho would love a character like Costa. I think that's what he's been calling for, and I think he would add a bit of bite to our team. And it could be that kind of bite we need.
Maybe.
But would he come as backup striker? He's backup striker at Atletico at the moment, so one bench.
You never know. You never know. I'd love him.
Yeah, I think
I would love him from a footballing point of view.
And he's only 31, not too old. Hysad from Napoli, the right back. We do need a right back.
We need a right back, but I think it's a risk signing a European right. Obviously, we linked with Doherty today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not convinced by him either. I don't think he's great.
Would you rather sign him as a backup right back, or would you rather just say stick with Jedson or like
no, I actually probably would take him as a backup right back because he is an out and out right back. I'm sure he can do a good job there, Jedson. I just don't like playing players in positions that they aren't. He's not a right back, is he?
But he did well against Ipswich.
He did, but he's not a right back.
Yeah, you're right. He's not a right back. Mesut Ozil? No, forget Mesut Ozil.
Get one more in.
Luka Modric, 34 years
bring
old.
Him back. Do anything for him.
A world-class return for Spurs.
Yeah.
Do you think I could?
Ballon d'Or winner, Champions League winner, unbelievable
would you take
footballer,
him?
Genius with the football.
Well, could that be?
Imagine.
Did he play under Jose? I think 1 year. 1 year. I think he did. I think he played his first season was under Jose Mourinho.
It's just amazing. I'd love to bring. But it's the same with Bale. I'd love to bring either of them back.
But even for
both of them.
He's 34 years old.
Bring
Modric.
both of them back.
Bale and Modric, bring him back. And
would you swap Bale and Modric for Son and Ndombele?
Bale and Modric for Son and Ndombele? Probably not, Probably not. I wouldn't do it.
Would you swap Bale
34 and 31
with Ndombele and Son? Or what about, alright, I'll make it easier. Swap them for Bergwijn
and Winks.
Yeah, I was going to say Lo Celso, but...
Oh, Bergwijn and Lo Celso for Bale and Modric. I still have. And they're too old. You can't. I wouldn't. In quality...
What if it meant instant success, though?
If we meant a league title?
Yeah.
Then yeah, I'll probably do it.
Let us know what you think on that swap. If it, well, I mean, it's not going to happen anyway. But let us know your thoughts.
Anyway, look,
this one can dream. But those are some of the players.
Those are the players in the last year of their contracts we've been analysing. There are a few more, but those are the ones we wanted to focus on. Let us know in the comments below. Are any of them realistic? Do you think we have a chance of signing any of them? Would you want any of them? Who would you want? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know as well who we've missed. If we've missed any players in the last year of their contracts, who you think Spurs would do well signing. Like and subscribe and comment below. And as always, come on you Spurs.